AI agents connecting to your SaaS app. It's a massive growth opportunity you can't miss. But there's a problem. You've built a product for human users, and AI doesn't always act human. But don't stress. Fronteg makes it easy and safe to open up your product to custom agents and Gen AI platforms like Gemini and ChatGPT. First, connect. Just add your API spec and choose which tools you want to expose to agents. Fronteg will create a hosted MCP server for you. Drop your new MCP URL into a Gen AI platform. Look at that! You're listed. Now a user can interact with your product using the AI interfaces they already love. Next, you need enterprise-grade security. For example, to pay invoices in a billing app, you might want a lower limit for agents. Use Fronteg to set fine-grained guardrails. When the limit is hit, Fronteg can ask for additional authentication or invite a human into the loop for approval. Finally, observe the impact. Track how many customers are using your AI tools and how often activities were blocked or flagged. It shows that your policies matter. Fronteg gives you the fastest way to join the AI revolution. Enterprise grade, no code, and the agentic interface your users already love. With Fronteg, your SaaS product is ready for AI. So open it up.
Okay. Hello, everybody. And hello, Omer. Dear Omer.
Hey, what's up?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Great
So
to be
thanks for joining us. And I think that we will start with a few interesting facts, maybe. And let me see if you can let me know if you can see my screen. Okay. Awesome. So as we were mentioning on the video at the beginning and also on our previous releases, we see that happening in the last few months. And I think that this is kind of a strong sentiment that is going in the market, that everything is basically starting to shift into a question of, not if, but when and how are we starting to engage with our SaaS products from within the chat interfaces that we use, during our day-to-day, asking ChatGPT for basic questions, asking Gemini, Claude, and all of those other fun operating systems, right, for our personal life. But now it's moving more and more into work-related questions and becoming less and less shadow, I would say. And this is something that our customers are asking us a lot. Okay, so what's the safest way and the fastest way and the best experience that I can provide to my customers in using and utilizing my product through the AI platform? So we get that a lot. And obviously, 6 weeks ago, we released AgentLink and already see some amazing interest that is happening from the market into kind of enabling an enterprise-grade agentic interface through MCP. And this is what we're talking about here. But, as always, I say that, there's the fun stuff, but there's also the harder things, right? And this is the AgentLink architecture that we can see here. So on the right side, we can witness the product APIs within your SaaS product. And on the left side, we can obviously witness the customers that are connecting to the product through their favorite AI platforms. And what we see here in the middle is Fronteg AgentLink, that is basically becoming the layer of governance of connecting the customers to your existing SaaS product in a way that is, reliable. So it's always up and running in a way that is secure and that, gives the control to the vendor, but also gives some level of control, as we saw in our previous release, to the customers, so they can generate their own policies. They can kind of control their own destiny with the utilization of the specific SaaS products through the AI interfaces. And this was the release, the very exciting release last week. But I think that one additional area that is becoming very, very interesting is, the adoption of AI within organizations is happening very fast. But also we see every week, I think, some things that are happening around, the security, how reliable it is, how enterprise grade ready it is. So right now we have more than 100 listed SaaS products on the AI different platforms, on ChatGPT, on Claude mainly. That those are definitely the most advanced ones. But I can tell you that Google Gemini are also accepting custom connectors, at least on their CLI version. But also we see that there's definitely a lot more risk that that we talk about for exposing data. So data leakage, AI models that are trying to get access to data that maybe they shouldn't see, risk management gaps. So I think that security teams are kind of still in a very chaotic mode of adopting AI. And for that exactly, and this is where Omer will join me. For that exactly, we created the kind of hybrid architecture of AgentLink, and I think that the main kind of reasons for that are becoming that the tool execution itself will separate from the control plane, and providing kind of the best of both worlds, right? So on one hand, SaaS vendors can kind of control everything on the AgentLink from the cloud, but on the other hand, they will also be able to kind of secure their data and make sure that no data is leaving their own environment. And I think that this is super, super important. And this is where, again, I would like to welcome Omer and talk about a bit about this shift. So, Omer, you're dealing with the kind of the security aspects of that on a day-to-day basis. What are some of the things that that you see from the technical side of things?
Yeah, so I guess that enterprises would like to keep the data on the premise. So that's where we show today the new customer hosted deployments. It's pretty simple, as we're about to see.
Awesome. Yeah, let's dive right into it. So obviously we built it after a lot of conversation that we have with kind of the early adopters of the MCP revolution, companies that are actually want to be listed on the public marketplaces. So let's dive right into it and show us the things that you built.
Great. Okay, cool. So I'm on the AgentLink portal. I've uploaded my OpenAPI spec file. This is the same spec file we use on each demo with the expenses app. So I enabled the free tools, create, list, and update tools. And as always, let's see how it works with the SaaS implementation. So I'm going to go to Claude. I'm going to create a new expenses MCP server, and I'm going to use the hosted MCP server I got from Frontend. Just a second, let's disconnect. All right, so I'm going to connect. Great, so I'm being prompted. We are using Auth0 as our IDP. I'm going to sign in with my Google account.
So Omer, as it connects, would love to kind of ask you, and again, we like to emphasize this. You can use any IDP basically with Fronteg AgentLink, right? So it doesn't have to be Fronteg IDP. Obviously, there's an advantage to have Fronteg IDP, but tell us a bit kind of what are the requirements on the IDP that can be used.
Yeah, so the requirements are only adding, if you go back to the dashboard, it's only requiring us to choose the authentication provider, an OpenID compliant one, and using our credentials and the well-known, and that's it, actually. We are fully compatible.
So basically, any IDP could be used.
Yeah.
So does it have to have dynamic client registration enabled, DCR? We hear a lot about this DCR thing and all of the hype around it.
Yeah, it needs to, but there is a way to work actually with Fronteg, so it doesn't require you to use it. So you can use an external IDP if you don't want to go through Fronteg, but if you want to go through Fronteg, then you don't need to have DCR enabled.
Yeah, so this is one thing that is important to mention, and we're talking about it a lot. There's a lot of hype right now around the need for DCR to really provide this connectivity experience to the AI platforms. So Fronteg AgentLink provides that out of the box. So basically, any SaaS product could be connected in a very fast and easy manner. You don't need to build anything on your own. So DCR is the big thing. We got it definitely solved for you as part of the connectivity package.
Yeah. Yeah, so as you saw, I connected the server to Claude. We can see that we have it as a connector, and I can ask Claude to, for example, list my expenses. Okay, so we don't have any expenses currently, but the tool work is expected. Yeah, so that's the point where we ask, how do we move to our own deployment, right?
Yep.
So that's where we introduce a couple of Docker images. For the sake of the setup, I've used the simple Docker compose file, but of course, this can be anything you want, Kubernetes, whatever you want. So we provide two images. The first one is the authentication image. It is responsible for all of the OAuth logic, the good old OAuth flows. And the second one is the gateway itself that does the MCP listing tools and the calling tools. Now we require some environment variables. For example, we need Redis. Because as you remember, the cloud still serves as the data plane. So we want to store locally your policies, your tools, obviously, and all of the other static data. So Redis, the Fronteg region we are working on, I'm working on EU currently. The vendor and the client ID and secret, we use those to actually fetch data from the cloud, your tools and policies. And a couple of more environment variables which are required for the authentication. Okay, great. So again, for the sake of the demo, I've included the third image, Nginx. I need Nginx because I need something to act as an API gateway between those two images. And lastly, so let's just run this compose file. You can see the three images are running. And lastly, I need to somehow expose my traffic. So, second. So for that, I'm using a tool called Local Tunnel. All it does is to expose local traffic to the internet. Yeah, so let me just do this again. Okay, great. So now I can go back to Claude, go to my connectors, I can remove the cloud one, and I can add the same expenses server. But now I can use my local URL. So let's add it. Let's connect. I'm already connected in the browser, so I wasn't required an authentication. Now let's go back to the chat. And I can ask Claude to, for example, create an expense for team dinner for $1,000. Let's allow. Great, so the expense was created. Let's just go to the web app we have for the expenses, and we can see our team dinner. Great. So next, what about policies? Let's, for example, create a policy to block all amounts over 5,000. I would like to, just a second. Sorry about it. Yeah, I don't know why it's happening. 1 second. Okay, just give me a second to log out. Okay, sorry about it. So we go to policies. Let's create a policy again to block all amounts above 5,000. I want to enforce it on the create expense tool. And I want to do it by the amount attribute, which is greater than 5,000. And I want to deny. Great. So let's go back to Claude and ask him to create another expense for example, office desk for $6,000. Yeah, so we got blocked by the policy. And again, everything is running locally. You can see nothing leaves my local computer.
So, Omer, I would like to ask you here. So you mentioned that you can still do the configuration of the policy from basically from the cloud. So the same experience as our cloud AgentLink customers are getting. But we see that everything is basically being enforced on your own environment. So tell us a bit what exactly stays on-prem or on the VPC of the customer, and what is still kind of talking to the cloud.
Yeah, so as we said, like data-wise, tools, the tools you upload, the policies you create, and like the static configuration, they live in the cloud, right?
Right.
But other than that, like traffic going out to your endpoints, even events which we're about to see in a minute, everything is running locally. Nothing leaves your premise.
Got it. And if I'm a CISO that is watching this, right? Kind of what's would you say the biggest risk that this mode kind of removes, the things that I have to worry about?
I guess that the first thing is PII, obviously, right? Like Frontend never sees your data. It's all on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
I
that's
think
the biggest.
also there's a lot of conversation that is happening, right? So obviously PII and opening it up to another subprocessor. Also, there's a lot of conversation that is going about, the data kind of traveling back outside your environment, and customers that don't know exactly where the data travels to and where it's kept. And in this case, by enabling this, basically, you can continue to fully control the destiny of the data of your customers, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, cool stuff. Yeah, let's continue.
Yeah, so why don't we create another policy, but this time I want to step up all amounts over 1500. Again, enforce it on the create tool. And I want to do it on the amount greater than 1500, sorry. And step up. And again. Step up, create amount. Okay, awesome. So let's go back to pod. Again, create another expense for, I don't know, iPhone 17 for 1600. Yeah, so we are required another verification. So let's go back to my mail. And we got the verification mail. Let's review and approve. And if we go back to the app, just give it a second. There we go. There is our iPhone.
Awesome. How is this verification flow is different in this case than the, traditional kind of fully cloud way of performing it, as we saw in the last few weeks?
So this is actually this flow still resides on the cloud, because, as you remember, the user is living in the cloud, and the email is being sent through Frontend. So
okay, and tell us a bit about the plans, so if we want to in the future change the the sender of the email and use our own stuff, will that be available?
Yeah, sure. It will be easy as providing some environment variable, and we will take care of it.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah, so now for the last part, which is actually logs and monitoring, because if you remember, all of the data lives on my local computer, nothing leaves it, but I still want to expose some event and logs, right? So if we go back to my compose file, it only requires me to set 3 new variables. The first one is the actual provider I want to use. For the demo, we're going to use Datadog, but you can obviously use whichever provider you want. The endpoint that the events are going to be sent to, and the secret that the provider provides you. Great, so let's restart the server. Nice. Let's ask Claude now to list my expenses. expenses. Now we can go to Datadog. It's gonna take a bit. Yeah, so we got the event. We can see the actual tool execution with the user and the vendor and tenant. And yeah, we got the data on Datadog.
That's awesome. So any export basically can work?
Yeah, any provider you would like, we're gonna support it.
Nice. What's the Omar? Tell me a bit. What's the failure mode here? So let's say that the cloud control plane is down, network is flaky. What is fail open? What is fail close? How is it going to work?
Yeah, so data-wise, as you remember, everything is being cached on your side, and you decide for how long you want it. So you can decide to keep it for an hour, and then you will have like obviously an hour delay, but it can also be shorter, so everything gets to you quickly. But everything resides on your side and is safe there.
So full control. And you mentioned a bit about the policies. So how long will it take for new policies to apply? Can you control it?
Yeah, so as I said, it's controllable by another environment variable, which configures the TTL on the cache. You can control it, like the default is half a minute, but it can be whatever you want.
Amazing. Anything else, Omer, that we should know here?
No, I think that's everything.
Okay, so that's incredible. Thank you for showing us. Thank you for showing us the real configuration behind the scenes. Obviously, to mention these are dev credentials, so don't try to steal it. There's nothing to steal there.
You can steal it, there's nothing there.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe you can add some mock expenses to your stuff, and maybe we will cover it. Let's see. So incredible stuff. So as Omer mentioned, and we just saw the same experience of opening up your product to AI agents and to AI platforms is now available on hybrid mode as well. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds. You can control and define everything through the cloud without having the customer data ever leaving your own environment. And I think that it adds up to this concept of data governance and data control, right? Because on our previous releases, and I think from the first release of AgentLink, we were very kind of conscious about the destiny of your customers' data, right? So the first feature that we released is data controls, which allows you to kind of protect the PII and actually define which data can travel back to the AI platforms. Because one of the things that definitely vendors today are worried about is that their customers, by using these new experiences, are not aware that the data actually travels back to ChatGPT, to OpenAI, and they can train the data through this data and stuff like that. So this was one of the first things that we took care of, giving them the full control of that. And I would say that today we complete this, data destiny control by also making sure that the data is not traveling back to any other sub-processor. For example, in this case, it is us. So we can still become the gateway. We can control the policies. We can control the data that travels back, but the data itself is not leaving your environment. You just set up the policies. The policies basically get downloaded to your own environment and enforced on spot over there. So great stuff. And again, time after time, it amazes me that we insist to do those demos live, and we're willing to live with the hiccups, and if something doesn't work 100%, because we really believe in the product. We see onboardings happening with customers on a daily basis, and it's really few minutes to set up the product. So Omer, one of our leading developers for AgentLink, amazing product that your team is building, and great to see more and more progress. And we will see you soon with more amazing stuff that are coming. The team is releasing on a bi-weekly basis, and we will continue to show and present those releases live on air. Omer, thank you so much for joining us and for presenting everything. And as always, we are here for any questions that might rise. And come on, sign up. Fronteg, AgentLink. See you soon. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye bye.